Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a really fascinating video transcript today from Drove Rothi, and it investigates the science and psychology behind ghosts.
Yeah, ghosts, Ouija boards, paranormal sightings, all of that.
Exactly. And if you are anything like us, you want to get past the spooky folklore and look at the actual science behind these mysteries. Our mission today is to separate cinematic fiction from scientific fact. Okay, let's unpack this. Why exactly is humanity so obsessed with the supernatural?
Well, part of it is just our natural love for a good mystery, but often the real driver behind famous ghost stories isn't supernatural at all. It's just money.
Right, the profit motive.
Yeah. Take the Fox sisters in America back in the 1800s. They supposedly communicated with spirits through these mysterious banging noises on walls, which made them incredibly famous and wealthy.
But it was a complete scam.
A total scam. Decades later, one sister confessed they were conning people just by cracking their joints, literally cracking their toes and dropping objects tied to strings.
Wow, and people just bought it.
They did, because the reason they got away with it for so long is tied to that profound human desire for closure. People were grieving, they desperately wanted to believe their loved ones were still out there.
You see this profit motive bleeding into modern times, too. I mean, the Amityville horror hoax is a classic example. People flat out lied about seeing ghosts and hearing demonic voices just to secure lucrative book deals, film deals.
Yeah, Hollywood loves to exploit that desire to believe.
They really do. They slapped that inspired by true events label on horror movies like Veronica to make it feel real, even when the truth is heavily distorted.
And the real story behind Veronica is actually quite tragic. It is based on a girl named Estefania, who likely suffered from an undiagnosed psychotic disorder and severe seizures.
But the movie ignores that completely.
Right. The movie depicts her suffering from demonic possession after using a Ouija board, completely discarding the grounded medical reality just to manufacture a terrifying narrative.
It shows how easily reality can be twisted. And our own brains do this to us as well, especially when we've been primed. The sources share this amazing anecdote about Bollywood star Dimple Kapadia.
Oh yeah, the movie set story.
Yeah. While shooting a movie called Leakin', she played the role of a ghost all day long. That night, she goes to sleep and swears she sees a ghost sitting right next to her on the bed.
Because when you spend all day acting like a ghost, your brain becomes highly susceptible to generating that reality. And this priming effect isn't limited to individuals either. There's a documented phenomenon called shared psychotic disorder.
Which is wild to think about.
It is, because humans are naturally empathetic, especially in close-knit families. If one member genuinely believes they are experiencing something paranormal due to an illness, the people closest to them can actually start to adopt and share that exact same delusion. Empathy essentially overwrites logic.
Here's where it gets really interesting. If these visions are mostly happening in our heads, we have to explain the things that physically move in the real world, like Ouija boards. That brings us to the ideomotor effect.
Yeah.
This is a scientific phenomenon where our brains subconsciously command our bodies to move completely without our conscious awareness.
And that subconscious physical movement is what powers Ouija boards, or automatic writing, where a person feels like a spirit is guiding their pen across a page. The people using them aren't necessarily faking it or lying.
Right, their hands are actually moving.
Exactly, but it's their own subconscious mind pulling the strings, not a ghost.
It's the same reason your hand makes microcorrections when you hold a pendulum or even just a phone charger dangling from its cord, and you simply think about it swinging clockwise. Your subconscious is moving your muscles to make it swing, even if you would swear you were holding perfectly still.
Yeah.
So if our bodies can trick us physically, it makes perfect sense that ghost hunters would turn to machines to get some kind of objective proof.
What's fascinating here is how modern ghost hunters try to bypass human psychology using sophisticated technology, but they just end up misinterpreting basic physics. They use infrared cameras to capture ghostly figures, completely ignoring that infrared captures residual body heat.
So that spooky glowing shape on the camera is just the heat left behind on a recently vacated chair.
Or wet footprints on the floor after someone stepped out of the bathroom.
That is hilarious.
The EMF meters they wave around to detect electromagnetic fields from spirits operate on the same flawed logic. An EMF meter is easily triggered by mundane, everyday electronics.
Like what?
A simple camera battery pack, a computer mouse, a two-way radio will make the meter spike wildly. It is not a ghost. It's just the equipment detecting other equipment.
Knowing how easily our own minds and basic gadgets can be fooled is incredibly revealing.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, understanding these psychological tricks and technological misinterpretations acts as a powerful shield. It protects you against modern misinformation and clickbait. Recognizing how a primed mind works or how data can be manipulated for profit sharpens your critical thinking skills for everyday life, far beyond just evaluating ghost stories.
It's all about keeping your wits about you in a world full of noise. But before we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final mind-bending question to ponder. If the ideomotor effect proves that our subconscious can physically move our hands across a Ouija board completely without our conscious awareness, what other daily decisions or actions are being secretly puppeteered by your subconscious mind right now?